Welcome to another episode of Down the Barrel Podcast with Jimmy and Dino.
And sometimes Jared.
Down the Barrel Podcast is brought to you by the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association
and Wolf.Report. Wolf.Report, a platform dedicated to elevating the voices of Minnesota hunters, trappers, and outdoor enthusiasts. Join us in advocating for responsible wolf management in Minnesota. Share your reports, photos, and stories, and together we will ensure that they are seen by all.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association, protecting the future of deer and deer hunting through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation.
Okay, today we're here with Mr. Andrew Romu, right?
Very good, yep.
From the Boundary Waters Guide Service out of Devon, Ontario?
Thunder Bay Township.
Thunder Bay Township.
The cabin is right in Devon Township.
Devon Township. So,
Okay.
Andrew, you are our first international guest. We appreciate it. You drove all
Yes.
the way down across the international border to meet with us. That is awesome. How was the drive today?
It's a privilege to be here. It was good. It was nice.
It's got to be a beautiful drive coming down the shore, right?
Oh, it was lovely.
Yeah.
Woke up to +1 Celsius. So that's got to be, 33 for you
33
folks.
degrees, yeah.
I was looking at the brief long-range forecast by Sunday.
gonna get
Minus
cold.
33 Celsius.
Yeah, it's going to get cold for sure.
It's going to get cold.
Yeah, we're projected negative 43 wind chill tonight.
Right.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Global warming.
Right. Yeah, right.
right. So, how long did it take you? How long was the drive?
3 hours to Duluth and about an hour and a half
Okay. That's
not so
across
bad.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
We came here many times back in the day when my son was snowcross racing.
Okay,
so
yeah. You
I
sat
was
down and...
familiar with how to get here and everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And we appreciate you making the drive just
Yeah.
to see
I
us.
wanted to do it in studio, not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely much better in
Yeah,
studio.
no, it's good. Get a little staycation. You guys are still close to home, so it's
Yeah.
a staycation.
Yep,
For sure.
Exactly.
No, it's a privilege to be here, and I'm looking forward to sharing and imparting some of my mistakes that I've learned from over the years. Minimal success, lots of
Right.
mistakes, right? Yeah,
Well, if our listeners probably don't know, but you have a outfitting service up there,
that's correct.
and you offer some hunting, wolf hunting,
Yep, we do a lot of wolf hunting,
bear hunting, grouse hunting.
grouse fishing.
Fishing?
The moose days are over, so
Really?
yeah. Well,
I was going to ask you about that.
There's outfitters don't have moose tags anymore.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no.
Well, why is that?
Well, the subject matter today happens to be wolves.
Okay, well, that's good to know. That's
Yeah.
good to know.
There's a lot of pieces to the pie why the moose population is literally decimated.
Okay.
There's a lot to it. It's not one singular thing. It was a collective number of things that happened
Right.
all within about a 3-4 year span there, and it's decimated them.
Yeah.
But you used to offer moose hunting, right?
I used to.
I could have swore you did. Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't. You can't. Outfitters can't get tags now.
Okay.
As a resident of Ontario, it's pretty hard to get a tag.
Really?
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
That kind of makes me sad. I always figured I could always go to Ontario and maybe get a shot at a moose since we can't do it here.
Yeah,
that's
it's really
no
difficult.
go.
And the remaining outfitters that do have tags, the smart guys from Wisconsin and wherever, they book year after year. They leave their
okay.
deposit right there in advance for the next year. So they've kind of got some tags. They lock them down.
Right.
Yeah, they understand the value of them. Now it's really, I have a lot of clients that ask about moose hunting, and I do my best to direct them to the guys that I think are reputable, but they're booked.
Yeah,
They're
so it's
booked.
tough.
So yeah.
But you have wolves, right?
I have a lot of wolves.
Right.
But it's cyclical too.
Okay.
Like 8 years ago, I had 30 different wolves on 4 baits. This year, maybe 16.
Okay.
However, I went and pulled a camera yesterday. And after 30 years of playing this game, I have a photograph of 12 wolves.
Yeah, I saw that on
one
Facebook.
shot.
Did you see it?
I did.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
pretty cool.
I guess I did
stunned.
too, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
stunned.
Yeah.
Like that is a deer-eating machine. They have to kill a moose and 3 deer a week to feed that.
That's a large
Yeah,
pack.
so
That is a huge-
I've never
that's a huge
seen
pack.
the biggest I've seen personally before on camera or witness with my eyes was 7.
Yeah.
So that's that. I got to talking to folks about that. We don't understand how much they have to eat, how much they've eaten
Right.
to sustain 12 healthy wolves. They were all good looking, lots of adults, lots of yearlings, but everybody was healthy. What have they got to mow through to sustain themselves?
Right.
Like, that's frightening.
It's got to be considerable for sure.
Yeah, so we do a lot of wolf hunting. I'm booking way out now. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you guys do have a season up there, right?
Yeah.
It's not all year round.
Yeah, so the Ontario government saw the timber wolf. That's what I'll refer to it as. Some call it gray wolf. But
Right.
we call them timber wolves.
We call them timber wolves here.
It's a resource, and
Well, it is,
they manage it. So right now, yes, we have a season. It's September 15th of any year to March 31st. Now I don't fool around with September, October, or November.
Okay.
This year I thought, I'm going to do, because I start baiting September 1st, and I bait through to March 31st. But I don't take my first group of hunters until December 15th, because that's when the Ontario big game season closes.
Okay.
So you're not running over a local, and they're not. There's nobody's harassing anybody. So I bait for 2.5 months before I ever have a person sitting in there. So I said, Self, you're wasting a lot of bait. Let's try a November hunt. Never again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. You need the ice. I was building pallet roads.
Yeah.
It was awful to get bait out where it needed to be. And I said, no, it's not worth it. I'll wait for the ice to come, and then I'll drive the sled or the four-wheeler out across the ice and put the bait on the ice. So November was an experiment that I would say was unsuccessful, and I won't do it again.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and I would imagine that couple months of having a bait pile with no pressure, that probably tends to help the success rate a bit.
December is always our best hunt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. I've been very careful with this. I'm not a wolf hater. They're
Right.
part of our ecosystem. They need to be there. I'm about balance.
Absolutely.
And that's what's necessary. So I only take 3 hunters a month, and I only do 1 hunt a month.
Yeah.
In this business, in my opinion, it is not fair to shoot a wolf out of a blind and then put you there next week.
Yeah.
It's just they're too smart. They're too scared.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
So way back, I did that. I made that mistake, and the second group never saw a wolf. And I'm like, okay, well, this is not the way to do this. So I put a month in between. So I do 3 in December, 3 in January, 3 in February, 3 in March.
Okay.
That's all I do.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and you can actually bait them up there. So where do you get
Yeah.
all that bait? I mean, I'm assuming, is it roadkill?
So when we had some deer and moose, it was simple matter to drive down the Trans-Canada Highway and back up to a dead moose in the ditch and winch it into your truck. It was plentiful.
Right.
That disappeared about 8 years ago. It's
Really?
really rare to get a roadkill deer now. This year I've got 1.
Wow.
Yeah, one of my friends got it for me. So lack of a better, I'm in bed with a local butcher processor, as you guys call them.
Yep.
And I get every crumb that comes out of that facility.
Nice.
So I get all the
Yeah.
all the goo, all the bones,
Okay.
sometimes the hides. So I've been dealing with him for about 8 years, and without that, I keep telling him, without that supply, I wouldn't have a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just can't gather the roadkill anymore to sustain it.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, beaver,
Yeah.
deer,
Yeah.
and moose.
Yep.
Natural stuff. We can't in Ontario. We can't lay down dead stock. Stock being cattle, horses, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
If the abattoir wants to give you cow guts and stuff, you're
Yeah.
good to go. But the theory is, and the rationale is, I don't know why that cow died on the cattle truck.
Right.
So we don't want to introduce that out to Mother Nature and all the other creatures. That's the law enforcement rationale on that.
Yep.
Guys, some guys do it, but I won't play the game. I'm
Right, no.
Yeah.
value my business too much to
Right.
start getting, on the bad side of the law.
Yeah, but you can take that leftover from the butcher then and
Yep,
use that.
that's totally legal. Yeah.
Bone in and everything.
Oh yeah, the wolf doesn't care.
Right,
No.
because I know here, like, the only thing we can really bait is bear. I don't think we can have bone in our bear bait.
Yeah. I don't bait bears with meat products at all.
I was going to say, a lot of people don't. I don't.
Well, I know I have before, but
Have
you
you?
just
Yeah.
only small things. But you as long as it doesn't have bone, you can.
Yeah. I think it's a lot more regulated in certain. I have clients coming from all over, and they tell me their regulations. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then, but they laugh at ours too. Like the
Yeah.
gun has to be encased 1/2 hour after sunset. It can't come out of the case till 1/2 hour before sunrise. So every morning at the table when I'm making breakfast to the guys, I'm okay, you can't have your gun out till 7:21 tonight. To this morning. So yeah, like there's a lot of rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the wolf hunts? Quite some time, or?
You know who my very first client was? Ever? I was hunting my own, snaring my own wolves on the trap line, and I said, I'm gonna make a business out of this. Add on to my bear hunting. My very first client was Fred Eichler from
wondered
Predator
that.
Nation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about hitting a home run.
No doubt,
Yeah,
right?
and that launched it.
Yeah, I can
When
imagine.
Fred Eichler says, "Hey, I had a good time. I got a nice wolf," and he does a show, that just exploded. And really,
So the video that's on your website, is that his first with you? Is that your first one?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. Because I
Wow.
watched that today.
Yeah.
With him taking that wolf.
Not the first wolf hunt,
Yeah,
but
but-
he was my first paying client.
Client.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Wow, that
hell
is
of a
cool.
good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was super. He's just an average Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
that enthusiasm, that it's not manufactured. It's really genuine. Yeah,
great.
it's really he's really
That's-
that
that's cool.
That
amped.
excited about it every
no,
time.
he was a good guy. It was a good experience. He pricing wise, he was a really valuable resource to me because I didn't know where to enter.
Right.
And actually, he suggested number ABC, and I was like, "Oh my God, no way! No one would ever pay that."
Yeah.
So I went like 50% of that.
Yeah.
And it's gone up over the years.
Well,
obviously,
yeah.
you know, gas is $1.83 a liter in Thunder Bay right now. So
Wow.
it's
I don't know my conversion rate, so
like
that
times
seems
4
like
for
a
us,
lot.
isn't it?
3 liters to a gallon.
Is it 3? Yeah. So it's like 3 times 3 for
All
us.
right.
It's
That's
lots.
not cheap.
No.
But I was recently online looking at some competitors out in Alberta. Some of those guys are $8,000 to US.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, my God, I'm not even in the game here.
Right.
But yeah, so back to the lots of wolves.
Yeah.
I was really, really shocked to see a pack of 12. It's a beauty to me. It's quite amazing. It's a lot of things. It's disturbing. It's shocking. It's
Well, yeah, it's all the above, for sure.
Wow,
12.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
And
And 12 healthy
Yeah,
legs.
yeah.
That's the key there, you know.
at that
That's very
particular
surprising.
bait site, there's a lone male. He's beautiful. 3 really badly manged up ones, and then this pack of 12. But I keep the record clear and honest. I've never seen that pack of 12 before. That was
Really?
their first appearance.
Okay.
And they're 100% Minnesota wolves.
Really?
100%.
I was going to ask, how many acres do you kind of hunt on, or anything
So my
like that?
business operation is based in and around the boundary waters on the Canadian side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have a joke there at that one bait there. Your bullet lands in Minnesota. It must land pretty close.
Yeah,
Pretty close.
right.
Yeah. So I think we hunt a certain percentage of Minnesota wolves coming across the imaginary line.
Yeah.
And our Canadian wolves go see you guys and
right,
back and forth.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, to sustain a pack that size, we don't have enough wildlife to feed them. They have to be eating in Minnesota.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the logical thing that I come up with. Because I know I haven't had a deer picture at my cabin in 8 years.
Wow.
So what are they?
8 years.
8 years, not one deer
Wow.
picture.
Wow.
And 9 years ago, I had 13 different deer coming. So it was the moose were where I hang my hat. It was a wonderful moose area.
Yeah.
High population. I have over 100 moose sheds and hanging in my apple tree that I go pick up. It was wonderful moose country. This fall, it was almost like the old days. I saw 2 cows with twins,
Okay.
which I couldn't believe. I was going to put an armed guard on them. But yeah, some bulls I was calling bulls in. I'm like, wow, this, it's they're making a comeback. But if that pack moves in and settles down, well, like I said, they got to eat a moose a week.
Yeah, there's no.
That's harmful. 12 wolves. That's
That's
not
a machine.
balance.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
a machine.
balance.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
So with being so close, I would assume that, the wolf size are pretty much the same because they're all, between the Canadian wolf and, Minnesota wolf.
They have
they're
dual
all the same.
citizenship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I was sitting on a bait very near Minnesota and watching a pack of 7 wolves, deciding which one I wanted to shoot out of there. The alpha male was big, white male, old, but he had a real, we call him rope tail. So he's got mange on his tail. It's not down to the bone. It doesn't look like your finger, but he has about the size of a Kubasau sausage. And I just said, I'm not going to shoot him. So while they were sitting there talking about cool experience, I watched them for a while. They were eating, and they went back in the bush, and I gave them I said, I'm going to howl at them. So I did my wolf howl. They lit up, and I recorded it. It was so cool. And that big male came out to the edge of the forest. I was hunting on what we call cutovers, where you harvest the trees and whatnot. Yep. He came out to the edge of the forest line. He sat down and he was howling. And I got it all on video. And it was one of the coolest things I think I've ever experienced in the wild. To have them, you initiate the howl, and they talk back.
Right, and you're watching them.
Yeah, and to get to watch the one was like, that was so cool. Really neat. But you were talking about the size. There is
about the same.
I weigh every wolf. I would say the average female between 70 pounds, 68 pounds. Average male, 90.
Wow.
The biggest one we got was 130 pounds. And I opened that guy up, and he had 30 pounds of moose in him. Jeez. Hide and hair and everything else. Because you could see his gut was just so distended. I said, well, this is artificial. I mean, he consumed it, so it was a real weight, but he doesn't run around every day at 130 pounds. That's a really big wolf where I come from. If you break the 100 pounds, that's a big wolf. They're big. They got a big head on them.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we kind of jumped straight into the issues here, which we'll definitely come back to.
Sure.
But I would love to know a little bit more about you, how you got into the business and how long you've been around.
Sure. So I was born and bred in a place called Devon Township. There was no public school there. My father, we were homeschooled for a period of time. My dad built a log cabin there in 1970 to 72. So he bought a sawmill and made the cabin. And we grew up there. So we're 100, talking kilometers, so 75 miles from Thunder Bay proper. So I was raised very rural, very wild, no neighbors. So I hunted and I fished as a young fella, and I just continued it throughout my whole life. I wanted to, when I was young, aspiring, I wanted to be a police officer or own a resort. So I got into law enforcement, provincial law enforcement for 27 years with the Alcohol Gaming Commission of Ontario.
Okay.
And I started guiding. I started my own business about a little over 30 years ago, retired 5 years ago, and I've just gone full-time into the guiding now. So I've been doing the bear hunts. I was doing bear hunting and fishing and whatnot for 30-plus years, and then started at the end of my career putting the wolf hunts in there, but now it's full-time.
Really?
I'm working harder now than I ever did in my life.
I bet.
Yeah. So, born and raised in Thunder Bay, Ontario, hunting, fishing, trapping. It's been a wonderful, wonderful place there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I miss the moose hunting, but
absolutely.
Yeah. It's getting harder. I bait with 50-pound bags of corn, 55 pounds. And each year it's like, man, I think they're adding more corn to these bags. I start to feel it at the end of the shift. It used to be fun to go bait on the snow machine. I got back yesterday and I told my wife, I was like, oh my Christ, I'm hurting. I need a soak.
Right.
So that's my background. I never really went far as I never left the country.
Right.
That's home. And
well, heck, with all those resources and everything, why would you?
Right. Hunting.
I did a little schooling in Southern Ontario, and the hunting and fishing in concrete jungle there was pretty minimal. So I got homesick real quick and went home within a year. I was gone.
Yeah.
Back to it. Yeah.
Well, for sure. But so you guide for ice fishing too and everything along.
Yeah, and those ice fishing trips are right on the boundary waters.
Are they?
Yeah, right on the boundary waters. So most of the lake trout we chase on the boundary waters.
Okay.
Because they're good trout waters.
Yeah, and you can take a snow machine right in there.
On my half.
On your side, yes.
Not your side.
I know. I paddle in there all the time.
Yeah, not
I wish
your
I
side.
could.
You can't look at. You can only paddle through there. We can look at it. But so on our side, we can have motorized outboards and the snow machine and all that other kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's some
the
healthy
walleye
fish.
I don't think the walleye fishing on the trout lakes is very good.
Yeah.
But north and south fowl gave out some names. They're good. They're good walleye lakes.
Yeah.
They're good walleye
Yeah.
lakes.
Well, we're kind of lately. We've been into the big pike. You must have some good pike lakes up there, eh?
You bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're into.
Yeah. There's a lake that I have that I take clients to, and it's not. I don't want to say every trip we go, but we push 40 inch.
Nice.
Yeah, but
Wow.
a 30, 36 are common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you just got a 36 on your lake the other day, didn't you, Jared?
I've pulled 236 out of my lake this winter.
That's a lot of pike.
Yeah, and
That's a
and
good fish.
You pulled a 33.
33, I got, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got a 40 over the summer.
Yeah, that was beauty.
Yeah.
I like going early June when you can sight cast them.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the shallow
Yeah.
bays doing their business, and you can say, looks like a log laying there, and you whip that 12-inch Rapala out in front of it, and it's like, don't.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. It's
That's awesome.
good. Very right around the cabin. It's really good brook trout fishing.
Really?
Really nice brook trout fishing. It's a government. None of the lakes are natural. They're all government stocked, put and take.
Okay.
But they're pretty remote and difficult access, and the trout get a chance to grow.
Yeah.
And we've got some nice brookies, plus 5 pounds.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
a big
that's a
bro.
nice fish.
Yeah. That's not common, but
Right.
we have broke the 5-pounder on occasion.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So bear hunting, too. You do some bear hunting.
Yeah. Bear hunting.
So, do you do more wolf hunting now or more bear hunting?
So I can't take a bear hunter until 2027. I'm
Really?
booked.
Oh, wow.
Really?
I'm booked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a good problem to have.
It is. I could use, so in Ontario, it's not wide open. So each outfitter has a bear management area.
Oh, okay.
And you are, so they look at that area and they divide it up into square kilometers, and they estimate that each bear needs 50 square kilometers. That's how they set your quota. So that's, you are issued X amount of tags based on your bear management size. So I have a small bear management area. I'm only issued 5 tags.
Okay.
So that's why I'm running 100% for the last 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, it seems like there has to be more than a bear per 50 kilometers.
Exactly.
That
So-
seems pretty sparse.
last year I only ran 7 baits and I had 53 different bears.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I know 18 of those are cubs, yearlings, and the itty bitty lunchbox sized ones, but they count as bears. Like the
Right. Yep.
recruitment is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those sows go to bed heavy, fat, and those embryos implant and they have their cubs. So
Yeah.
if they're lean, as you know, maybe you don't know, if they're lean, if a sow is in poor condition, those embryos don't implant.
Okay.
So
Makes sense.
those bears go to bed healthy and fat, and all my cubs are living.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of bears. Bear hunting, I never like to use the G word, guarantee.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
bad word in our business, but and if you don't get a bear,
Well, you said
you
you're
were smoking in
batting
a tree
1,000,
stand.
right?
Yeah, you were doing something wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
So you guys have a spring season too, it looks like,
Yes,
right?
we've had our spring season back now for about. People are going to correct me on this, I'm sure. I want to say 7-8 years now we've been back with our spring season, and we lost it for
Really?
18 years
Oh, wow.
Okay.
because somebody alleged that a cub was orphaned back in the day, and the government the day bought into it, and they canceled the bear hunt. And it
So
took a
then is your
long time to come back.
Spring season only boar then?
No, it's either or.
Really?
So in Ontario, it's illegal to shoot a sow with cubs.
Okay.
So
Oh, gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a tray bad thing. And I pounded into the guys like, you shoot a sow with cubs, I'll phone the M&R on you.
Right.
Yeah.
They're coming to talk with you.
Yeah.
Right.
So I do my best to educate on gender identification, but it's hard.
That's what I was
the
gonna
average
say.
guy coming up he doesn't know.
Right.
Unless it's just a
Right.
slob and reeks of boar. It's
Right.
hard. It's hard to tell.
Right. Unless those cubs are right with it, it would be tough, I can imagine.
Yeah, but if you're doing it for the number of years I can tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would say my accuracy is probably only 85%.
Really?
Yeah, it's not 100.
I can
would think
imagine.
it'd be
I
tough.
could never tell the difference. And I
No.
see lots of bears in my drill cams.
Especially on the younger animals, the yearlings, the 2-year-olds. Man, it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
So I try to hang beaver carcasses in a cage Not for, just for gender identification. So the bear's got to stand up,
I suppose.
stand and attack that with his front paws, and he's showing you his junk or not,
Yep,
and that's
right.
it helps. It helps.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, so if I book a client one-on-one, I'll sit with you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and guys like that. This
Well, yeah,
because I don't want sows shot.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's illegal to kill a sow and a cub as an outfitter. I don't want them to kill the sows.
Well, yeah,
Right.
it's bad business.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen. So
Yep.
last year we were really good. We got 3 boars and 1 sow.
Okay.
Yeah, so the ratio is more boars than sows.
But you have the spring season, and you also have a fall season
Fall
then
season.
too, like we do.
Yeah, yeah. We have a spring and a fall. The majority of my business is spring.
Yeah.
It's usually all done in the
really?
spring. Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
And I always wonder what's the difference in the hides, the fur between spring and fall. Is there a big difference, or is there any
Yes,
difference?
there is a big difference. In the spring, the hides are much better.
Really?
So,
See, I would've thought it'd be
way,
different.
no, way more.
I would
way,
think they'd be better in the spring too.
ways,
Yeah,
but they're
they'd
not
be-
rubbed. Well, they can get rubbed into June. You start getting rubbed.
Yeah,
But if
okay.
you get a nice first, middle of May boar, so they're thick. They're beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
They're beautiful. They're nice in the fall if you're killing them in October. They've
Yeah,
already
the later
they've
season.
already
Yeah.
fluffed.
Okay.
But our season, our fall in quotes bear season opens August 15th.
Yep.
Oh, they look like a shedding dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fur on them.
I mean, would you rather shoot a January coyote or an August coyote?
Amen.
You know?
Same,
For sure,
same,
for sure,
same
yeah,
principle.
for sure.
Exactly.
And speaking of coyotes, you guys can shoot coyotes up there, but there's a season up there, right, for
Oh,
coyotes?
no, this gets difficult here. So on my trap line, I don't have a quota for coyotes or timber wolves. I can take 100 wolves.
Really?
Yeah. But if I come off my trap line, then I'm just like Johnny Ontario resident. I can shoot 2 coyotes or 2 wolves.
Really?
So 1 wolf, 1 coyote. So you're only allowed 2. So if I go off my trap line, I can only shoot 2 wolves or 2 coyotes.
But if you're on your trap line, so how does the state know where your trap line is?
We have to report.
Okay.
Oh, where our trap line is?
Yeah, like how do you...
Ours aren't like yours. Ours are designated. There's
so you-
boundaries.
okay.
No one else can lawfully trap. in
Okay.
there.
Oh, that's
You're
interesting.
responsible for the management
Okay.
of that, and I can't go trap on
Jared.
Jared's line.
Okay.
I have to know the boundary, and I can't
No.
go in there. Now, I can go as Johnny Ontario citizen and shoot a wolf and tag it with my Ontario resident tag on Jared's trap line.
Okay. Okay.
That's like anyone can come where I have my wolf baits and shoot a wolf. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, anyone can come.
How big is your trap line?
It's not very big. It's not. It's not huge. I've only got a 20 beaver quota, and I know guys with 100 beaver quotas.
Wow.
That's a big line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So my line's really small.
Yeah. So do you get quotas then for other animals, or is it just beaver?
Just the beaver.
Just the beaver, and the other ones are kind of free.
Yeah.
Whatever you get,
You're
you get.
responsible for the management. If you
Okay.
kill every last marten on your line, well,
That's your
the
problem.
end of your business now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you have an obligation, a moral obligation to good Mother Nature to be
Right.
ethical and responsible with what you're taking. If you want to sustain, if you want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That is great. I actually love that. That is so great.
Yeah. Conservation is
Yeah.
the key.
Yeah. And it's your personal responsibility. You take care of your area. I like that.
I do too. So let's go back to wolf hunting here.
for sure. I know a thing or two about it.
Right. What's the go-to cartridge? What's the go-to firearm?
Here we go.
Oh, we're talking.
Here we go. Yeah. It really varies.
Yeah.
So I'm starting in the last 3 years to host a lot of coyote hunters
Okay.
that want to come shoot timber wolves.
All right.
And a majority of them are bringing 243 Ackleys, 243 Ackley improved,
You know,
6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But I won't shoot that.
I like this guy.
So my go-to, if I reach into the gun cabinet for a wolf killing gun, I grab my 243.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, with an 80 grain Hornady VMAX, and
Yep.
it serves well. I just last year I got a 22 250.
Yeah.
I haven't shot anything with it yet, but I'll tell a real fast funny story. I didn't fully understand who Fred Eichler was. My buddy said, hey, I got a guy, you got a wolves, et cetera, et cetera. So he brought up a 22 250. And me being just ignorant, naive, I looked the man straight in the eyes and said, what are you going to do with that thing? considered backhanding me, I'm sure, but he just smiled and giggled at me. And he did, when Fred shot his wolf, there was a clump of yellow straw grass on the top of the beaver pond, and he put that bullet through that straw grass, and there were 3 entry points on the side of that wolf, on impact side. So the bullet
Wow.
just blew apart. It ran 100 yards.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because
Wow.
if it's that video, I was going to ask you what caliber you used, because I was surprised how far it ran.
It
after
ran
you shot.
100 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Across the pond. He
And
took
that-
one more shot at it that was non-lethal.
Right.
Yeah.
He did clip it, but it would never have killed the wolf. But yeah, that was 22-250 that Fred used.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I was just like, I heard 22.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
Right.
I was totally naive, but no, I now I own one. I'm
Right.
looking forward to trying it out.
Yeah, well, we just got a nice, it's a Howa, right?
The
22-250 snow camo.
Yes.
Oh, the
And,
Predator,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all snow dipped. I mean, the scope, the barrel, the stock is
Yeah.
awesome.
And after hearing the story about Fred, it's probably going to be in my safe by the end of the week.
Yeah, they
um,
are nice.
Yeah.
So my December group, one of the clients there, he kills a lot of coyotes. And he wanted to bring his suppressor and his night scope. And don't even say suppressor in Canada. Right. You can't bring it. You can't bring it. So the scope he bought, like the scope was a $7,000 scope.
Oh,
He
wow.
took a video of the shot and everything. I was like, my God. But yeah, there was a guy that came last March, and he brought some fancy gun. My God, I'd never even heard of it. It was a custom-made Ferris. Ferris was the maker.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, that's going to blow up the wolf. It didn't. It didn't. Yeah, the worst damage I've seen on the wolves are with the guys that bring the 308.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
The 160
Yeah.
grain,
Yeah.
grain moose bullet. And I'm like,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot of gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally 223s.
I was going to say
Yeah.
probably a lot of 223s.
Yeah,
Right.
223s are
Coyote
very
guys.
common, but
Yeah.
the Ackleys are. So as I'm getting into more of these guys who really are quality coyote killers, they're bringing specialty guns, and I see a lot of the 243 Ackleys.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
So what's the difference between the 243 and a 243 Ackley?
I can tell you now.
All right. What is it? I don't know.
So a 243 Ackley Improved is actually what it's called.
Okay.
It's the casing is necked
Necked a bit more.
a bit more to put
Higher
a little
pressures.
more powder in their higher pressures.
Really?
Yeah. I just learned that in December.
So can you shoot a 243 Ackley out of a 243? Or is it too much pressure?
well, the neck's different, right?
Oh, so it
Yeah,
won't
so
fit.
it's totally
It's got to go in an
Right.
Ackley Improved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. See,
That's my basic understanding of it. I'm not a
Not
gunsmith.
familiar with it.
It's great that they do all that, but yes, it does make it hard for people to understand that, it's kind of like the 6.5 PRC, 7mm, 7mm PRC. They're different bullets, although there's microscopic changes in them, but they are totally different chamberings. It's not like your 223 and your 5.56. And then people really get confused when it comes to the now I just lost my train of thought. 223
Wild.
Yeah. So it's because that's the same. That's
Yep.
just a different barrel to accept both and the higher pressures.
Right.
Right.
When you get into that, so it is. Yeah, it gets confusing when it comes to that. But yeah, that 243 Ackley, that is a really nice caliber.
Oh, it's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
just so
not
fast.
familiar with it.
Yep.
So fast.
Yeah.
So flat shooting.
I'm only serving up 55 grains out of that 22 250.
Yeah.
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 Yep. I've got a 20. Well, my dad has a 22 250, and I have it now. Getting it scoped up for him, but that is awesome. I mean, it's so flat shooting,
Well,
fast.
I'm looking forward to giving it a try.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
nice.
So my favorite, this is a show about wolf management and hunting, but when I reach into the cab, my favorite gun is my 17 HMR.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I love that
That's my
one.
trapping gun.
Yep.
Yeah.
It works on the wolf. No, I've never shot a wolf with it. Fox, beaver. The best beaver gun I've ever owned.
Really?
Yeah.
But at this one bait where those 12 wolves are the pictures, I have a jet black fox coming. Night, black as night.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try for that with my 17.
Yeah.
But
17's
that bait's
nice.
230 yards, so I'm gonna try and squeak them in.
Yeah.
'Cause I
With
don't
the
want to.
17?
Yeah, that's too
That'd be
far.
too far. I
That's
was
too
like,
much of a
that's a-
poke.
Yeah.
That's way too far. But if I squeak them in, I'll try. I've shot at 100 with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But the 2250 will just blow that fox up. So
Right.
and it's such a rare animal. I want to make sure it's
Yeah, preserve every inch of that pelt.
Amen.
Right.
Amen. Yeah.
So speaking of that, when it comes to furs, so obviously the clients get to keep the furs of the wolves or anything? Or
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before you ever arrive, I make application to the CITES program on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
So when you arrive at the cabin, your federal export permit, the CITES permit's what it's called, is ready there for you in advance of your hunt. So
Okay.
you take your hide home with you when you leave.
And you got to have that permit. So when you cross the border, you show them
Yes,
that
sir.
permit.
Yeah,
and
you
you're
give
good
a
to go.
copy to Canada.
Right.
You give a copy to the U.S. guys, and you keep a copy with that wolf hide for its life.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's a provincial export permit too, because the Queen wants her.
Well, yeah.
$9.50
Yeah,
for the
right.
wolf hide.
Right.
So there's 2 documents that I send you back with to make it all legal.
Gotcha. How hard is it because I was reading on your site, to get a firearm across the border? As a hunter,
That's a
is
real
it-
common misconception. It's
Yeah,
not hard.
not hard?
It's not hard.
Okay.
Really.
No, you just
There's a link.
throw it in a canoe with Jimmy, meet him on the other side.
That's a sensitive subject right now.
Don't say that out loud. You know the boundary waters.
They just suspended the remote border crossing permit thing.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, they've suspended it. So a lot of
Wow.
American folks on the boundary waters, they will not. This is temporary. They're locked. It's not been canceled. Don't go on the record saying, "Oh, RBT's canceled." No, it's not. They've suspended it temporarily. But what I do know is that if your permit expires, they're not going to renew it. So in May, if you want to go fishing, you have to come around through an approved border.
Really?
You can't remotely cross on January 17th, 2025. That hopefully I hope they get their ducks in a row before the walleye opens, because there's a lot of
So
people.
even in open water, you can't?
No.
Wow.
So that permit, make sure you understand what it allows you to do. It allows you to enter Canada remotely
Yep.
and return to United States.
Yep.
That's the permit that's temporarily suspended. Canada is reviewing the program. It's a Canadian document.
Right.
America does not have a document for me to enter America remotely.
Right.
Right.
So I can't enter Canada remotely, but Andrew's clients can send bullets to Minnesota whenever they feel like it.
They land close. They land close.
It's only 55 grains.
Mineral deposit.
It's good for the mining industry. Come on.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. But I hope they get that worked out. I don't know why I don't know the rationale
Right.
why that's being reviewed, but there's going to be some upset folks if that goes by the wayside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it seems pretty cheap to do the firearm importation fee.
$25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's for a rifle,
Long rifle.
long rifle. You
Yeah.
can't bring handguns.
No, don't
Yeah.
no handguns.
No,
Nothing that
no semi-autos, right?
Oh yeah, you can bring a semi-auto,
bring a
long
semi-rifle.
rifle. Yeah,
Long
but
rifle,
don't
okay.
bring anything that represents an AR-15.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask too.
Yeah,
What about
just
ARs?
Just avoid
Yeah.
it. Just
Yeah.
avoid it. There are some guns that are lawful in Canada that have styled in that manner.
Ruger Mini
But
14.
Imagine showing up at the Canadian border and they come out to inspect your gun and then you're no.
Right.
Now what do you
Right.
do? You
Yeah.
use a slingshot. So just keep it in the long gun category and you'll
Yep.
always be good.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's $25. It's actually a very simple document. There's a link on my website, right to the RCMP page. You print the document, you fill it out.
Right. See,
Yeah.
it sounds pretty easy.
It's
Yeah,
not
it really
difficult.
does.
Yeah.
You can, and I think you can on that one document you can bring up to 6 firearms.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, not that.
What about ammo? How can you bring ammo, or
I can't say I know what the limit is.
Okay.
I don't think it's unlimited.
Right.
It's got to be reasonable.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you bring a
boxes.
box or two, I mean, you can't have two
No,
ammo
I wouldn't come with
boxes, you know.
suitcases. Yeah, no, but a reasonable box of
Yeah,
shells.
for hunting,
Okay.
yeah.
You're going to shoot one wolf. How many do you need?
Wow.
So
You'd be surprised.
Wow. Yeah, if you're hunting with Dino.
we've had some misses. We've had some
Can't
misses.
imagine.
Yeah, guys get excited. There's one fellow, good guy, really good client. He came 3 times and brought lots of paying customers with him. Good guy. Never shot a wolf with me.
Oh,
Really?
man.
No, he missed.
Just that-
He missed twice.
Oh.
He'd bring his paper. I can shoot. And I'm, yeah, you can shoot paper.
Yeah.
He just
Gets
just
wolf fever or
lost
something.
his mind when the wolf actually came out and he missed. Yeah.
Yeah.
One was missed at 75 yards. The other was 200 and change.
That was
Wow,
going to be
that's
another
understandable.
question. What are the average ranges. I mean, obviously, with your baiting, you're going to have them within
Yeah,
probably
so I have one bait that's real close at 125 yards.
Okay.
And all the others are set at 200.
Gotcha.
Now, on those other baits, you can see 500 yards, 700 yards on the lake or down the river.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the bait's set at 200.
Okay.
So we know that much.
Yeah, well, that's an easy, or should be an easy poke for most.
I had a guy in
but-
December miss at 332.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, it happens.
Oh,
we
yes.
all get the jitters. I just
Amen.
missed on
Amen.
it must have been a 42, 43 inch northern the other day. I was spearing and I forgot to let go of the tether with my left hand.
Oh,
So I
Got too
threw
excited.
my spear and it went about a foot.
good thing you didn't follow it in.
Right.
Oh, I missed a deer year before last at a little over 100 yards.
Oh, yeah, it
But then this year got one at 200. So
And I can imagine,
same
you're
gun.
sitting there waiting for wolves, which, I mean, a predator is always more exciting.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a hoot.
Yeah, that would be.
Let's talk about Voyager Wolf Project.
You want
Yeah.
to talk about
Yeah.
Voyagers?
Are you guys familiar with them?
We are.
Yeah,
we are.
We've had them on there.
Yeah. We had
They're good folks.
Yeah,
They're-
Tom
I-
Gable.
Yeah,
He was
Tom Gable. I think
sitting
they're
in
doing
your
good
seat.
work. I learn a lot how to kill wolves from them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's true. It's true. I know the biology that they send out it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Well, they
I
do.
want to show them that picture of 12.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I don't know them or how to contact them, but they'd be like, because I strongly suspect that's a Minnesota pack, and that pack is far east of their study area.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they would, impart some good knowledge about that
for sure.
wolf pack
Yeah.
that size. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
because
12.
their average pack size is what, 5 to 7?
5 or
Is that
6,
what
yeah.
Tom had
Six, I
said?
was
So that's
gonna
like
say.
twice the size.
Yeah.
That is a
That's
healthy,
unheard of.
wild pack.
I'm stunned. I really am. Like I got the SD card downloaded. I don't look at the pictures on the lake because the laptop won't last that long at minus 20. So I download and I go home. So I said, "Oh, look at that! 5 wolves in the dark." I was like, very excited. 5 wolves, a healthy 5 wolves. This year is good. I've seen a lot of mangy wolves.
Yeah.
I started clicking and clicking and kept clicking, and I'm like, "That's 10 wolves." Then I got a couple of days of daylight pictures.
Yeah.
I counted 12 wolves. I was
Wow.
like, unbelievable. I didn't think that the forest
Yeah,
could sustain
that's
that.
like an
That's what I
Alaska
was going to
pack or
say. It's like,
something.
how is 12 wolves being sustained? Because
And they were healthy.
not
Healthy
many
wolves.
wolves or not many deer, not many
I
moose.
would love to see somebody collar that whole pack,
Yeah.
and see how long they can sustain that population. Because that's a big pack.
Well, up there, yeah, they have to be eating moose, right? I mean, what else is there?
Wow, there's only
not-
4 moose
I was going to
left.
say.
What are they eating?
What are they eating?
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of beaver. I mean,
Well, and then they
Well,
got that video of wolves fishing now.
Yeah, the Voyager
Yes.
folks.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
incredible.
yeah, I think I saw it. Well, maybe, I
And
suppose.
the Voyager study have shown
That they eat a lot of beaver.
A lot of beaver.
Yeah.
A lot of
Well,
beaver.
they got to be eating 12 wolves. I mean, they're constantly eating. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I mean-
I'm not.
they eating bear too.
I'm not a biologist. I'm not educated enough to give a realistic answer.
Right.
But they were healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
12
the
of them.
picture. They looked
There was
good.
no mange on them. They have to be killing 3 deer a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
They have to minimum. I would say minimum. That's my guess. Someone can correct me. The biologist can correct me. But
Well, that's what I was told is a pack of 4 to 5 is a deer a week. So
Yep.
if you're looking at 12, that's 3 a week.
Well,
Gotta
even
be.
in that area, even on the Minnesota side, there's not a whole lot of deer on that side either.
Not up there.
No.
But obviously, there's some deer around because
Some sustaining them.
yeah, something's keeping them healthy. They ain't eating enough beaver.
12 wolves aren't going to live off beaver alone.
No.
But I'll put some numbers out there. So 8 years ago, you saw pups of the year. I actually had a cameraman film a baby that was separated from the pack. It was amazing. It's actually on my my website. And he sits down on the road and howls right in front of us.
Really?
I told the guy, just keep the camera rolling. And he sits down, I'm lost, mommy. And you hear this bark about 100 yards into the bush off to the west. He perked up and he trucked off into the bush. So you used to see pups.
Yeah.
Right now, until yesterday when I saw that great big pack, no yearlings, no pups, just doubles, male, female, male, female.
Really?
Yeah. There was one pack that had 3 I call them yearlings.
Yeah.
Heavy mange, they'll die.
Yeah.
They're if they make it through the cold.
Really?
Coming up right now, you have to kill them.
You think it was because of the winter last year?
I don't know. We had a lot of mange where I hang my hat.
Okay.
And last year, not one picture of mange. So I was like, oh, yay, we're done with that.
Right.
This year, they're all over the cameras again. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't know the biology of mange.
Right.
It's passed, obviously, from wolf to wolf.
Yep.
Right.
And it's... I don't know. Is it an overpopulation?
Well, that's
thing?
what I was going to say. If you're running a pack of 12 and it is passed between wolf and wolf, it makes sense.
You're
to,
definitely more prone to
right.
contract.
The higher population, that's going to be more prevalent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I got a pack of 3. It was 5, but one died, and I know one that was snared, and 3 that I got on camera there after Christmas. Oh, they look terrible.
Yeah.
Just skin and bones. Yeah.
It's kind of like that
Poor
coyote
things.
you shot in Kansas. That thing
That's
had
right.
mange.
I'm never shooting a coyote in Kansas again.
Right? Those things are all sickly looking.
They're
Looks like
just,
it's just us.
ugly.
In April, yes.
They are.
Hopefully,
it's
the
nasty.
hopefully
Yeah,
the
they're
war
nasty.
for yeah.
Have you ever saw one like right up close?
Yeah, his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got pustules on them. They're scratched
wasn't
raw,
pretty.
bleeding. It's
I've
a
still got
terrible way to die.
that. I've still got that fur in my freezer, and I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it.
You
'cause
scun it?
I did.
It was awesome watching it. I should have recorded
It's
it.
my,
and put
my
it on
first
there.
Kansas coyote. I figured I'd skin it, I'd keep it, and
Right, I get it.
I'm not going to do anything with it. But
I had a December guy shoot a mangy wolf, and I said, "No."
Yeah.
I said, "That's what it was."
Yep.
And so just took the skull and the paws, the
Yeah.
claws, and the tail. Tail,
Yeah.
weird, are they? The tail is usually what goes first. This
Oh,
one had
yeah.
a beautiful tail.
yeah, see, mine didn't have a tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the,
I have
the
the
tail
skull.
was pretty
though.
bad.
I have the skull.
The skull. I mean, nice European would be nice. I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes
which I did that. So
Yeah.
I should actually bring that in here.
You should.
have that
Put
in
it
the
up here.
studio.
Yeah, put it by Sally here.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's one consistent thing I've seen as an outfitter. I can show you. I can work all spring to get you a 360-pound boar. I can hit him with a paintball. That to identify him. I don't literally do that, but
Kind of handy though.
And they shoot the first bear that walks out.
Yeah.
Really?
All the time, guys. All the time.
Yep.
I had a guy ask me one time, said, "Andrew, what kind of guy shoots a big bear?" The guy said, "Don't shoot little bears." What do you say?
True story.
Like, I'm spoon feeding you this bear, but guys like the wolves, this guy shot a mangy wolf. It's for first wolf he shot.
Well, I
Sorry,
suppose.
first wolf he shot and saw
And
on
saw.
the trip.
Well, yeah, it's kind of
But
hard to judge.
I've got 4 months to wait. Like that big male that I
Right.
passed because he had a sausage tail. You don't.
Yeah. Right.
But
True.
So I salvaged what I could off that, and then I just recycled the carcass back to the ravens.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
I'm not skinning it.
No.
Well, I heard this from another friend that is a guide, and that tends to be a common trend with guided trips. Is you almost go back to if it's brown, it's down. The first thing that comes through, you're going to shoot it because I got to justify this trip to my wife, and if I come home empty-handed,
There is that.
there is part of that.
There's a lot of that. I paid the money.
Yep.
I'm going home with something.
Yeah,
Right.
So the guys, in my experience, that are willing to go home with nothing, they're older guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've done a lot of killing.
Yeah.
And it's about a quality bear or wolf
Right,
or
yeah.
fish
Yeah.
because they've been that.
Right. They've already
They've
brought
been that
first
38-year-old
skull
guy that
home.
says,
Yeah.
I saved a lot of money and I could be putting this towards my basement renovation, so I'm
Right.
going home with something to justify the cost.
Right.
So, but that's consistent. The older guy, I'll wait for something.
I know what I want now.
Yeah. Amen.
and then they're the ones that get the big one the next year.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of like, the years I've hunted in Kansas for white-tailed deer. It's like, I'm not going to get one every time because I want that trophy.
Right. And
It's-
down there you can do that.
And down there you can do that, and I can be patient. I've passed a lot of deer, and I've gone home empty-handed, and I know the wives have been like, well, you said you saw like 6 bucks tonight and 15 doe. Why didn't you get a deer? It's like, I didn't see the one I wanted.
Right.
Well, yeah, but we're down here. You're hunting. I go, right, but I don't have to harvest an animal every time. I want the certain one because
Right.
that's the joy of it and being able to do that.
Right.
You know,
And I suppose
so-
that applies to wolves too, but get back to wolves. Ontario, wolf population, 9,000, I think I read somewhere. Is that Is that right?
Well, I just saw 12 in one pack, so that,
That's gotta be right.
I'll sign that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, and now
it's healthy.
it's healthy.
Yeah.
So, and then you're not the only wolf outfitter,
No,
right?
No.
Does it seem to really? They're not going. I mean, there's 12. You just saw a pack of 12.
Yep.
They're healthy. They can handle some hunting.
Yep.
They can handle some management.
Yep. So let's look at the geography. The most of the wolf outfitters are south. South near the border, right? Because
Right.
we have no population to the north. The more north you go, I think there's better wolf numbers, bigger packs, healthier packs. But there's other outfitters in the immediate area, and everybody seems happy and satisfied.
Right.
I'm kind of unique because I am literally on the boundary.
border, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that doesn't hurt me.
No, not at all.
So I think wolf numbers are like like anything, it's cyclical.
Okay.
It depends on
Winters.
winter. Like the last winter, we didn't have it. I'm 58 years old, and it's the first time I didn't see snow at Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
That's hard on wolves.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do most of their eating in the winter.
Yep.
And when the deer can run and the ponds aren't frozen, they take it hard. That's why I'm not seeing the yearlings and the pups. The pups just are starving to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have enough to eat, and that's the end of them. But I have enough wolves to sustaining the business. I think historically I'm running 66%
Okay.
Okay.
success. I think that's really good.
Yeah, very good.
Like
Yeah,
I'm full frank and fair with anybody that books. You're lucky if you see a wolf.
Yeah.
They're smart. It's not like deer coming to a corn pile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bait's there, but they don't trust it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't trust that bait. Now, it's taken me years and years and years to educate those wolves that to eat there, they still don't trust it.
Yep.
There's a lot of more nocturnal pictures of wolves than there are daylight pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally upfront. Like, you have a low percentage chance of killing a wolf. That's just the nature of the business. They're smart
Right.
animals. They're top of the food chain. They're the top predator. They're not dumb.
Right.
And hunting is only daytime.
In Ontario, your gun must be encased.
That's right.
So
Yep.
there's no
Okay.
night hunting.
Okay.
If we could night hunt, well, we'd put a real dent in that 12 wolves.
Right.
But it's just daylight
daytime.
hours.
Okay.
Daylight hours. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So good numbers, enough to keep the business going. But so I take 9 to 12 guys. We take 7 wolves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some real good year 9. So I'm not hurting anything.
No.
Right.
We're not taking
Well, now when you got
30
packs of
years.
12,
There's
they're-
trappers that are snaring more than that.
Well, I suppose
Right.
because you said on
Way
your
more.
trap line, there's
Yeah.
really
Trapping
limit.
does a lot better.
There's a good wolfer there out of the Thunder Bay district. I know he got 16
Yeah.
snaring.
Well, it's just like with anything, the trap lines do a lot better, coyotes and everything else than you ever will.
Well, they're working
regular
24
hunting
hours
and
a day,
rifling.
you know?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
See, people say, why don't you snare those wolves? Because a really good wolf hide at the first sale might get you $230. Well, I get a hell of a lot more than that for a wolf hunt.
Right.
I don't want to snare the
Right.
wolves. It's not in
Yeah.
my interest to snare the wolves.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Very good point.
It's the. I'd be lying if I said there's not an economic component
Well, yeah,
to it for
yeah.
me. It's not all
Well,
we
that's
call
your
it-
livelihood.
Right, and I think that's great because that's a model I think for what Minnesota could be doing. There, people could be making a living off of
Absolutely.
that type of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I see so many comments on my page and on kill them all. Well, that's never been my goal.
Well,
I
no.
don't hate the wolves.
Absolutely
I sit
not.
there and watch them. They're beautiful. They're part of your country, part of my country. It's not wrong to manage them. I think
Right.
Ontario's done the right thing.
It sure sounds like it.
They've started managing them as a resource.
Right.
Yep.
No one's out to kill every last wolf like some people post.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Right, and in Ontario, they have townships where you can't even hunt them, right?
Algonquin Park area.
So it's just a part, which makes sense.
Well, but they can't hunt them because they believe they have a hybrid species going on there, and they don't want to start killing them.
Okay.
That I have a very limited understanding about that for the record. But yeah, Algonquin Park. There's no wolf hunting in and around Algonquin Park.
Okay.
But again, don't quote me on that. But you can't hunt within the city district and same
Well,
rules
yeah,
you
right,
folks have.
right,
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But predator hunting, where I hang my hat, it's nowhere, not even close to being as popular as it is here.
Yeah.
No, guys don't do it.
Really?
Guys don't do it. Our bear is under harvested in Ontario. Guys
See,
don't do it.
and I think you're probably right. However, I would say that down here, bear hunting is very popular.
Amen. I was referring
But
to
it's limited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we can't get enough tags.
Right.
Right.
They don't give us enough. Yeah. We got
I don't think
5
there's-
years to get one.
because your boar to sow harvest ratio is bad.
Right.
Is it?
You kill too many sows.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think there's enough people out there that are intentionally hunting coyotes.
Oh,
right
gosh,
now.
no, not even
at all.
close.
You know,
I think it's gaining in popularity.
it is.
It's getting more popular.
And
Oh, for sure.
we're doing everything we can to ensure that it continues to gain in popularity.
Right.
And then unfortunately, we cannot have a wolf season right now.
No.
And that's something that we're working to change.
Well, let's qualify that. You have the population for a wolf hunt.
Right.
You don't have the political will.
We don't have the
for
legislation
for a wolf
We don't
hunt.
have the legislation.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that may change.
You've got
this
the
year, but
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We absolutely have the numbers. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
have had the numbers.
historically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's you guys are in a much different situation than we are. We manage them. It's a resource,
Right.
and it's viewed like that. And I'm just one outfitter. I try to do it ethically and sustainably, and it's working. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. If you can do it year after year after year,
Yeah.
and you're seeing a pack of 12. come
Well,
back
and
back,
I
but-
think our MNR, we call them, you guys call them the DNR.
Right.
They understand there's no moose and deer.
Right.
They know that. Like they
Yep.
see it. They
Yeah.
they do their aerial flights and go, whoa, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
It was a little too late, but they're starting to make a comeback. So they're down with the wolf hunting.
Yeah.
As long as it's done
right.
lawfully. Sure.
Right.
And us outfitters, for the record, we're not taking near as many wolves as the guys, the trappers snaring.
Right.
them.
Right.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
They'll decimate a whole pack, 8 gone, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I maybe shoot 8 a year.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not hurting any wolf numbers.
So we get a lot of comments and hear a lot of stuff on social media specifically about it's only a matter of time till a kid or another human being is taken by a wolf. You're out there in the field all the time hunting these animals. Are you ever afraid that you're going to be attacked?
Good question. Never.
Yeah.
Never. I walk clients in the dark, so the client hunts dark to dark.
Right.
I walk them in. I don't carry a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
Wolves are, in my experience now, and there's going to be folks that have different experiences.
opinions vary.
They're cowards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're absolute cowards. My son was out behind our rural property west of Thunder Bay many years ago and toddling around. He was, I don't know, it was maybe 13. And he said, Dad, I found a wolf den. I'm like, bullshit. Nope, he found a wolf den. And there was pups in it. And I lowered him down there with his little ankles. Those wolves did not stand and fight. They
Yeah.
ran away, pissing themselves.
Yeah.
They relocated those pups, but they didn't stand and fight us. They ran away. I wouldn't do it with a mother bear.
No.
Yeah.
No.
She'll
way.
kill you.
Right.
She'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as an outfitter, maybe I don't show the wolf enough respect. I'm not afraid of them. The bears, yeah, I keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
But not the wolves.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well,
So, I mean, listen, anything's possible, right?
Right.
We just
Right.
we touched
Well, yeah.
on when we weren't on the air. There's been 2 documented wolf kills, human wolf kills in Canada. 2, and yeah. So no. Short answer: never afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've come across basically every large game animal in North America. You know, wolves, bears, both black and grizzlies, mountain lions while out hunting. And the only time I've ever truly been afraid was being charged by a bull moose. You know,
Yeah.
those things they're out to get you.
Yeah, they don't mess around. They'll
The,
pack a
the
snow
outcome's
machine.
never good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my cousin. He made the newspaper because a moose stomped him.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
You know, and I think the wolves get the bad rap because they're, you know,
They're
just because
opportunists.
right? And everybody, you know, is scared of them. I mean, I've walked into a deer stand and had wolves howling around, and I've walked out and there was tracks in my tracks. So of course, I was scared, because like, well, God, there's got to be 2 or 3. In my mind, there was a whole pack of wolves after me. Well, I never saw them.
Why did your mind go there?
Because
Why
that's
were you
what
scared?
media
Movies.
does.
You were
in
taught to
movies.
be scared.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
So, but do I think they'd ever attack? I mean, they're also like a dog.
Right.
You kick it hard enough, it's going to go away. If it's attacking you, you don't kick dogs. Let's get that across. But it's just one of those things that's in your mind. Now, I do agree with your comment on bears because I've had bears on the front porch. You chase them away, they'll come back.
Yeah, they kind
They're
of stand
stubborn.
off. It's just-
Yeah. And I've heard stories of guys shooting at a bear with just birdshot, pissing the bear off, and it comes and it tries to get in that door after him. And so then he did have to dispatch with another firearm of the bear. But had he not, pissed it off, it probably would have
Right.
just went away. So yeah, I'm more scared of bear than wolves by all means. But
I would agree with that.
I have had the hair on the back of the wheel when they're howling, and it's like,
Well, it's a little eerie. It's kind of an eerie feeling
Yep.
when you hear them hauling, but
And I'll admit, I hate werewolves, so it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, and let's be honest, the biggest threat out in the woods these days is wood ticks.
pretty much.
That is
pretty
for
much.
sure.
Much
around
more
here.
likely
Yeah.
to kill you.
Exactly.
Don't even get me going on the wood ticks. The Beasley boys came and did a bear hunting show with me, kind of the rough. They managed to do a whole show about wood ticks. You know how many bookings I got off that show? I never got a phone call. Never
like,
mind
yep, nope.
bookings. I didn't get a phone call.
So was that
Yeah.
a spring bear hunt or fall bear hunt?
That was a spring one. They
Spring?
came on. Yeah, the ticks at home
That
are
early, huh?
out of control. Now, when I was a youngster, I didn't know what a
Right.
tick was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now, like if I'm skinning a spring bear and you grab it in the armpit, it'll curdle your blood.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like grapes.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Oh, man.
We had one nice boar. Guy got a nice Pope and Young boar this spring, and we were doing the photography session. The hide was turning red
As they were coming off
as
of it?
they were the wood ticks were exiting. Yeah,
Oh,
and these aren't deer ticks; they're wood ticks.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was just I was brushing them off with a small broom, so they didn't. It'll make you hurl.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Yeah, they're no fun.
No, that's one thing I'm always
But we don't
concerned
have
about.
winter anymore.
No.
and that's why the ticks are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got to have extended periods of like 30 below Fahrenheit
And snow.
and snow to kill them off, and we just don't get that 2-3 weeks in a row of that anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Although I really hate ticks. I'll give it that. But I really don't mind not having the 2-3 week periods of 30 below.
Yeah.
Well, hang on
Although
to your
a little,
hat.
a little more snow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna drop
Here in a few
tonight.
days,
You
it's
got
gonna
6
get
days
cold.
of it coming here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have a 16-inch bar in my power saw, and I went to cut a hole in the ice because I always put the bait in the water a little bit so it freezes there. So the wolves, they like, they
little bit
like
of
privacy.
chewing.
They
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
they want privacy. They'll grab that bait and go in the forest.
Oh, okay.
So if you freeze it in, you lock it there. The wolf's got to eat in front of
gotta
you.
stay there,
So anyway, I couldn't find water.
Really?
So we're over 16 inches already.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's only getting wicked
making
bitter
ice.
in the
It's
next
making
6
ice.
days.
Yeah, definitely. Making
Yeah,
nice.
they were plowing the lake here in town the other day. They ready for the hockey tournaments.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
Going up.
3 full-size trucks out there with V-plows plowing all together.
Yeah.
So there's I sure hope there's plenty of ice out there. Yeah.
Well, up where I'm hanging my hat, I had a 16-inch bar. Couldn't
get
find
it.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you pretty well booked out for ice fishing?
No,
Or-
lots of
no?
ice fishing openings.
Okay.
Lots. Yeah,
Gotcha.
lots. Yeah, we can leave right from the cabin and fish the boundary waters, or we load the sleds up in the trailer and go hit a walleye lake because the boundary waters aren't really where I am synonymous with great walleye fishing.
No.
Good trout waters. Good trout.
Good trout.
Yeah.
What about pike? So you
I have a special pike lake that I go
Yeah.
to, and that's the only pike lake I fish because I know percentage wise we're going to do good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do tip ups for pike or?
Oh, I do the old Finnish tip up, willow branch.
Really?
Yeah, that's all I ever use. Guys, look at me. What the hell is that? That's awesome. No, the old school Finlander tip up. Yeah, no, I don't even own a modern
Really?
tip up. I did buy 2 flashers though, real good Garmin ones.
Nice.
I should learn how to
yeah.
use them.
Don't you have a Garmin, Jared?
Yeah, just I don't remember the model. I looked it up last time, but yeah, it's a little Garmin like handheld unit.
I went and pulled the trigger on a couple Garmin's because my buddy had one, and I did put more fish on the ice.
Really?
Yes, sir, I did.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, that is a fish.
Yeah.
Once he trained me on what to identify, and you jig up to him, bang.
Boom.
So I'm a believer now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it took
They
me.
work.
I've
They
only been a
work.
believer for about 5-6 years now.
I'm
Yeah,
both same. Yeah.
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 I was always against them, but now anymore I can't go without it.
Yeah, I've used a flasher ever since I moved here.
Yeah.
I got one because I fished with a guy that had one, and because the first couple times I went out, I didn't have anything, so it just it's like didn't hardly catch any fish. Fished with a guy that had one, went out and bought one, and never looked back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, we appreciate you coming here, Andrew. If you guys want to hunt a wolf in Ontario, check out the Boundary Waters Guide Service.
Yeah,
That's right.
That is
He's got a
us.
website. He's on
Yeah.
Facebook. He's
Yeah.
all over. He's got great pictures. Check out the one recently of the 12 wolf pack. That's an interesting picture. So you got to look him up.
It's still it hasn't cemented itself in my mind that the 12 wolves.
Right.
That's a super pack. I didn't think that existed, honestly.
Right. I've heard of that like in Alaska or something. Like,
Amen. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
down here, that's huge.
That
That's
is
Well, and I think
500 yards across the imaginary line. That photograph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
And I think we can all assume your answer here, but do you think Minnesota should have a wolf season?
They have the wolf numbers for a wolf season.
Yeah,
They
right.
we have to. I'm going to speak honestly from the heart. I mean, it's a resource.
Yeah,
There's outfitters
absolutely.
in northern Minnesota that could add that to their toolbox.
Right.
For income. And there's no shame in making an income off a resource.
Nope.
Do it responsibly.
Right.
You know,
that,
Minnesota can
responsibly.
sustain a wolf
Correct.
hunt. Yes. Will it? You didn't ask me if I believe it'll ever happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
No.
No?
No. I mean, they got the numbers. I just don't think there's the political will to do it.
Yeah.
You guys have been fighting the fight for so long. You know,
been a
and
long
when you get a
time.
win, it's not even 10 days and they take that away.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's just there's no common sense to it.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm going to hope you're wrong.
Amen. Let's hope I'm wrong. Yeah,
I
because
hope
you guys
we can get it
you
to
could
happen
set
again.
a quota. Like
Yep.
you don't have
Yeah.
to. Like I can kill as many wolves as I want to.
Right.
So start small.
Yep.
You know, they pick 5 outfitters on a trial basis in out of I don't know, somewhere up north and willing to happy to make money. Say, okay, you can shoot 5 wolves.
Right.
See how it goes. Give it a chance. You don't got to open it wide open.
No.
Right.
Start
Do it
small, baby
responsibly.
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. See and evaluate it. Then
Right.
extend it to other existing operators.
Yep.
Like in Ontario, not everybody has moose tags. Not every operator has moose tags. It's not carte blanche. There are some, and that's where they stay. So Minnesota could look at that model,
Right.
you know,
We should.
and it doesn't, and some to private Donny Citizen, and some to the outfitters.
Yep.
Yeah, and just start small because the resource is there, and love the guys and girls over at.
Voyager's Wolf Project.
Yeah, but I'm not with the wolves make a difference. I'm sorry. They kill
Well, they do.
a lot of deer.
Absolutely.
The wolves
that's what
affect
they're
the
made to do.
population. That I've read. I stay on top of them. Oh, the snow. Yeah, that's an impact. It has that. The lack of snow. You can find any excuse.
Right.
You know, too much snow, not enough snow. Wolves can get out of balance and decimate
Absolutely.
a deer population.
Just like anything else can get out of balance.
Amen.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
If fish under the water, it's all
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
So, do the wolves, in my observation, do the wolves play a critical role in population crashes? Yeah, they do.
Absolutely.
They do. And wolves, let's put this myth to bed. We can end it on this if you guys choose to.
Okay.
They don't just kill the sick and the weak and the slow.
Right.
That's bullshit.
No.
They kill. They're opportunists.
Right.
They kill what they can catch.
Yep.
And it's not always the sick and the injured.
Right.
Let's just get that out of the way.
Absolutely.
I think that's a great closing message. And
Right.
I think, I know personally, I'm going to have to acquire a 243 Ackley Improved.
I know. I'm going to check it out for sure.
We'll probably be seeing a lot more of those at
Right.
banquets.
Yep, that very well could be, or just more Predator setups for even
Right.
243s,
Right.
and maybe
Yeah.
a few more
And that's because
250s.
I am ever the optimist, and I think we will get a wolf hunt.
I'm thinking we're going to get one within 5 years myself.
Yeah, I think within 2.
Two?
That's
I like
my
that.
estimate.
Yeah, I think the advocates have to be reasonable and
Exactly.
start small.
Yeah.
Open it wide up. You know, you'll kill all your wolves.
Right.
I think Minnesota should, be a leader. It's okay. We're going to do small. We're going to try, let's kill 50 wolves through outfitters on a tag income basis, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah,
That's not
right.
going to you're
Make
not
it
going to
a
make
resource.
everybody happy all the time.
Right. Make it a
But
resource like Ontario does.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to take a fast moment to say I've really enjoyed this. I'm glad I came down. It's my first podcast, and it was a good experience. Thank you, fellas.
well,
It was
we
good to
really
meet all you.
appreciate
It's
it.
great that
Yeah.
you drove all the way down.
Yeah,
Right.
you're our first international guest, like you
Right.
stated. So
And you handled it like a pro.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Couldn't tell it was your
This is
first.
going to be our best episode, I think.
I think so.
Oh,
too,
easy.
yeah.
I
I
can
think
talk. My mouth's too big.
Right.
Well, we
Anyway.
appreciate you coming down,
Yeah.
and again, like we said, click, like, and check out Boundary Waters Guide Service,
Right.
An adventure for everyone.
Absolutely.
All right,
Check
we
out.
appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Andrew.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has been building our hunting and conservation legacy over the past 40 plus years through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation in Minnesota for Minnesota.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and Wolf Report proudly sponsor this podcast. However, please note that the opinions, topics, and guests featured may not necessarily align with the views, beliefs, goals, or missions of our sponsors.
The views expressed by Jimmy and Dino and podcast guests are solely their own and do not represent the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and Wolf Report.